It's the #1 business show across the nation
This is the Business Breakfast
with Richard and Brandy.
on Dubai Eye 103.8.
Where this morning we are talking public Wi-Fi. This has come off the back of myself actually stopping to read the small print for once whilst logging on to a cafe Wi-Fi network. I read the terms and conditions and I found that I was giving the Wi-Fi operator the right to change my Twitter profile and even tweet on my behalf, amongst other concerning things. Now, the cafe where this occurred, Common Grounds, has said that it didn't know that the third-party operator that ran their networks was running a beta device with these pop-ups on. They went in, they immediately removed it, and they're now taking care of it themselves, and they've got open Wi-Fi with no logins. So, good on them for doing that and for doing it so quickly. But it has left us here on the Business Breakfast asking just how safe public Wi-Fi really is, what we're really opening ourselves up to. We're very pleased to have in the studio now Shah Sheikh, Senior Cyber Security Consultant and the co-founder of DTS Solutions. Shah, thanks for being with us.
Pleasure, and thank you for having me.
What did you make of the T's and C's that popped up for me? How unusual were they?
Well, first of all, public Wi-Fi is a commodity, and people do need to use public Wi-Fi for many different purposes. Now, the pop-up that you did share with me did seem very strange, because typically public Wi-Fi do have a captive portal where they basically ask you for certain basic level of information just for you to get connected. But what you saw was something that was very unusual, where they wanted to take over your account, where they wanted to actually add and remove profiles, like and dislike certain tweets, etc. So that is something very unusual and should definitely be not happening on public Wi-Fis.
Why do companies want my social media login details to start with? What are they hoping to get or to do?
Well, there's many facets to getting information about your social profile. So if you're on a public Wi-Fi and they ask you to log in through your Facebook account or your Twitter account, the primary reason is for them to start understanding who you are, who you're connected to, what kind of things you like, you dislike, and then they can then use that information for various marketing activities. So you may then receive marketing updates about certain products that you've been looking at to purchase, etc. So this is very much a game where data is the next big oil. And essentially, the data that you own, and along with all your connections, can be used for various monetary purposes by these social media platforms. One thing that I would like to say is that when you do use services for free, you do become the product. So essentially, this is basically what is happening right now.
What's an acceptable level of data sharing, though, and what isn't? Where's the line?
So every individual that do connect to public Wi-Fi or any kind of service that is for free, whether that's Facebook, Twitter, etc., you should always give the minimum level of personal information. And that's one of the reasons why in European Union, they established a mandatory law called GDPR. This basically ensures that all organizations have to only collect minimum amount of personal information and not information that is not required for them not to do the job. So very minimal information should be collected. And if more information is required, then there's absolute explicit consent that is taken from these individuals, so that they know that exactly what is the reason why that information is being collected and for what reason they'll be using that as well.
We are seeing more and more open Wi-Fi at the moment. I mean, there's less and less places where you have to walk up to the counter and get a tiny slip of paper that will give you 1 hour. A lot still do want to go in either through your social networks or they want your email address. How safe is public Wi-Fi in general? I mean, should we be using it at all?
So this is a difficult question. I mean, generally speaking, if you talk to any security expert, they will always say public Wi-Fi has major risks in terms of online security. And of course, as you highlighted, there are many challenges around using public Wi-Fi. There are ways in which you can secure yourself. I mean, public Wi-Fi is not necessarily all evil. There are many ways in which you can secure yourself. Obviously, the most important thing is to use public Wi-Fi, which is basically having captive portal or secure protected Wi-Fi where you have to actually register. But of course, when you register, you want to make sure that you only give in the relevant information. So you don't want to give email addresses and telephone numbers and then start receiving marketing messages a few weeks later. But there are other things. Once you are connected, then you should always make sure that your device is secured by having the latest antivirus, anti-malware agents running, and your system is updated with the latest patches. All the different applications that you use, are secured using HTTPS or what we call SSL and TLS, which basically ensures that from your browser to your server, it's encrypted, etc. So there are various different ways in which you can secure your methods in connecting online.
How do you make sure that you actually are connected to the restaurant or the airport, or whatever it happens to be, Wi-Fi that you think you are, and not someone else just pretending to be the establishment?
Well, this is the tricky thing, because it's easy for me just to sit outside of, for example, Starbucks and set up a wireless access point and call it free Starbucks Wi-Fi, and then get people to connect to it. So it's very easy to run a rogue Wi-Fi access point, is what we call an evil twin in the technical terms. And then once users are connected, then it's as easy as getting them to give us their username and passwords to then be able to log on to the internet. So it's very difficult to know exactly whether you're connected to the legitimate Wi-Fi access point or not. But essentially, there are telltale signs. When you connect, you should usually get a captive portal to register. If you don't, then it probably is suspicious, and you should immediately disconnect and use other methods of connecting to the internet.
Shah Sheikh, Senior Cybersecurity Consultant and co-founder of DTS Solution. Thank you so much for joining us on the Business Breakfast this morning.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now, your chance to win on the Business Breakfast and go to Dubai Opera later this month, because on the 17th and 18th of January, they have a production of Broken Wings. It is a West End musical from London, and they're bringing the production here, and it has a wonderful Middle Eastern twist. I'm not going to tell you who it's by, because that is our question this morning, but the clue is in the question. Broken Wings is a poetic novel. It's about a young man of Lebanese origin growing up in the United States who returns to Lebanon, set in the early 20th century. It was first published in 1912 by the printing house of the periodical Merat ul-Ghab in New York. The question is, which Lebanese-American writer and poet wrote Broken Wings? If you want 2 tickets to see that at Dubai Opera on the 17th and 18th of January, let us know the name of the poet and writer, your name, send it to 4001 or use the app. And of course, for details of tickets, if you're not lucky enough to win, go to DubaiOpera.com.
Dubai Eye News.
With Etihad Holidays. Not sure where to go next? Etihad Holidays have travelled the world to find the best deals for you. Visit etihadholidays.com to find out more.
On FM, online, and via the Dubai Eye app from the ARN News Centre.